We're back, people, and today we got another Miami Dolphins mock draft Monday. This is version 10.0, I believe. Doing this now for 10 weeks. Gonna see how this plays out. Gonna resume this draft and, play it by ear. I think these exercises are always pretty fun because I want to see, all the different types of drafts Miami could have, depending on, who they decide to take first. Because that kind of, changes up the whole strategy. Hopefully this thing gets going. I'm not going to do a trade this time because I still think trading is very unlikely and it's, always hard to predict. So now you get here in this situation. Unfortunately, 2 QBs don't go early, and a lot of your top guys are gone off the rip. And it puts you in a situation where, okay, I guess you could trade back if someone really wanted Sanders. That's, the only way I kind of see that happening. Defensively are the main options that I'm always talking about. Kenneth Grant and Jahdae Barron. Those are ones that I just most likely to be on the board, and I think the Dolphins will really like. But since I've done that so much, and this is something I don't think I've done at all yet, is I have not taken a receiver early. I still think, this isn't the likelihood of what the Dolphins are doing, but I'm trying to, do these different scenarios. This is not what I would do either, but I still think this is at least a percentage of a chance that's, not out of the realm of possibility. So I think if it felt like this, to me, I actually kind of prefer Emeka Egbuka for the Dolphins. I love his fit. I love the way he plays. He can play, in this slot in the Z. And, if Tyreek Hill does get traded, what type of player would you want to replace him with early on here? Golden and Egbuka, Golden's a little more of the explosive route runner type, while Egbuka is the most pro-ready receiver. But if McMillan's there, I think it's a question. I don't know who I would take out of these three. This three is actually a very close conversation for me. I know they have it rated like this. McMillan probably has, some pretty high upside, but I actually think Egbuka is the safest player in the class. I know they rated at 29, but I think he's closer to these two than they're giving him credit here. And he's so smart, excellent, very, very high IQ. Good route runner, he's, listed around 6 foot 200, very good blocker, plays with great toughness. The nuance is all there with him showing late hands to catch the ball down the field. I'm gonna go with Emeka Egbuka here because I think he would be, that's a pick that's to me, pretty much unless he has some crazy bad injury luck, is guaranteed to hit. He's one of the safest options in the class. Would for sure be a good pick. While the other guys maybe have a little more upside, I could see them both being worse and having, at least a little bit of bust potential. So, I know people won't love receiver in the first round. I don't love it either, but I just want to, we're trying different scenarios here before people freak out that we took a receiver. And then we get here, still some decent receivers. So if they don't go if they do trade Tyreek and don't go receiver early, there's still some options there, Jalen Royals, Jaden Higgins, Kyle Williams, Jack Besh. Those top four would all be intriguing picks at 48. We're not going to do that here, obviously. Okay, the board actually fell really nicely. Amara and Hampton actually fell, which is actually a really good value pick. I'm not going to go there, but Tyleik Williams at 48 is a great pick. Just one of the best, 6'2", 334, one of the best pure run defenders in this class. He dominates as a run defender, and I think where he can stand out compared to some of the other run defenders, like Alfred Collins, is he does show nice pass rush potential. He still wins and disrupts pockets a lot of the time. And it, shows that ability to bull rush, speed to power, and he has the athleticism and physical tools to still, I believe, get better, have a high ceiling. I think he's a high floor player as a run defender with a high ceiling as a pass rusher. So, this board actually felt really good at 48. These options are all pretty good, Hampton, Williams, Connerly, Mason Taylor, Schwessinger, Jonah Savanaia. Those are all, decent options at this spot. And, Kenneth Grant almost fell to you. And a lot of the guys that go in front right here are all guys that could easily be off the board. So, you're going to still have quality options at 48 for sure. But yeah, we're going to go with my guy, Tyleik Williams. Because I don't think I've taken him yet, and I'm a fan of Tyleik. See how this goes. 98 is where things get very interesting. And, this is where, you don't have a pick for a while, and, you don't quite know who's going to be on the board. Tyler Shuck, a lot of these quarterbacks end up keep falling, which I don't kind of see happening. Corner didn't end up looking too good for you, 98. Some of these guys are options, though, that they have them rated a little bit lower, but Kobe Bryant, Jacob Parrish, Quincy Riley are all not terrible picks here. Same with like Noel Williams. Safety, you could take Lathan Ransom. That would be interesting. Linebacker. We just took D tackle. Let's go offense. Let's see what they got on the board here. Any decent guards? Could go. Maybe we'll wait a little bit there. Just based on how they have it, I'm just gonna read between the lines. Let's just go Lathan Ransom. Safety still a need, and he could actually fight for a starting job. I wouldn't actually be surprised if he started with who they have on the roster. I actually think he's a pretty well-balanced player. Very good run defender, like flies downhill, tested pretty well, 6'2", a 6, so good size. I think he plays with pretty good instincts. I think he's a little bit stiff in coverage at times, but you're not gonna ask him to do like crazy cover stuff. But I do think he can man up on tight ends and play as like a split field safety underneath zone coverage. He's just not like a rangy free safety type. But I do see like a pretty solid player that could easily start. He'll definitely see playing time, and then how it ends up falling for you. You go here, boom. O-line, we get Jackson Slater. Perfect. Jackson Slater, a guy that I also one of my favorite like fits for Miami. Sacramento State, great scheme fit, great mover out in space, great blocker. I'm another guy that I actually would see getting plenty of playing time. If not starting right away, he's a guy that will be in the rotation pretty quickly, in my opinion. And great value at that spot. So now we get to 135, where we got a lot of picks coming up here. 3 more in this range. Let's see what corners got, because we haven't taken corner. It's kind of position we just kind of ignored for a little bit. Unfortunate. That's what happens. That's why like the whole taking receiver early I don't love, because even if it's like, because I don't see a lot of scenarios where like receivers like obvious best player available, and if that's the case, then I'm down to go receiver. But this is where it kind of gets messed up. You kind of miss out on corner. But I'm going to go Noel Williams here, who they have rated a little bit too low, from Cal. Good ball skills, very physical, one of the most physical guys in the class. Now we're in an intriguing spot. We have taken a lot of the positions of need, pretty much got a lot of the main ones. We haven't taken like tight end or linebacker, but at this spot, don't love the value of what we see here. I'm actually going to go Savion Jones, LSU edge, and he's an interesting edge because these are the types. If the Dolphins are going to take edge, this is the type of edge I'm looking for, the bigger one, 6'5", 280, that has experience also playing some interior stuff. The Dolphins need guys that can play multiple stops, and he's got good like power, athleticism. Like he just finds ways to be disruptive, and I think he can do a good work on like those twists and stunts. He can definitely be a decent part of the rotation by being more of an interior presence while still giving, bigger edge snaps. And then you fall to this spot. And I'm going to go linebacker. I actually prefer Teddy Buchanan, the Cal linebacker, over Danny Stutzman. I think Stutzman actually really struggles with his eyes, and I think Buchanan has even some like versatility with how he plays, instinctive, does a good, job, I think, all around. He can, make some plays with some anticipation. He can blitz, seen him just be a playmaker out there. So I'm going to go Buchanan there. Definitely an interesting draft. I don't think I've had too many drafts quite like this. Like I don't think I've taken a lot of these players in mocks that I've done. So it is interesting to see how this kind of rolls around. Like they still have like options there, but see 224. Like bro, they have Vernon Brodin here. If Vernon Brodin is here in the 7th round, it's an absolute steal. I actually think Brodin's going to go on a day 2 because look, he has an 18.1% pass rush win rate. He's a perfect fit in Miami. This would be an absolute steal. That's so unrealistic. That's the best pick I've made. Getting Broughton in the 7th. And that honestly makes it a good draft. This is a good, not my, like, I don't think it's a great draft, but this is a good draft. Like, you have a lot of guys who I think would be contributors. I mean, even Broughton. Broughton might be your biggest contributor. And then we take Willie Lampkin, because why not? Take Willie Lampkin around 7. Throw that dart. Let's go. Let's check defense. So D tackle, no. Edge, Baron Searles, pretty good value. Linebacker, no. I don't think I've watched any of those players. Corner, I have watched some of these guys. I've watched Waxter, McWilliams, Longer Beam. Not bad there. I've watched Bilal Kone. Safety, not Shiloh. Lane, if you want special teams. So that's kind of what it comes down to. Do I take? We took one corner, right? Yeah, Noel. Let's get in. Well, Noel Williams. Let's take a Mick Williams, because I like Mac McWilliams, and he also has some nickel capabilities. A little, undersized at 5'10", 191. But was just a constant playmaker, like very productive ball skills. Like yeah, it says he has 23 career pass breakups. I'm a fan of his game, very competitive. Definitely likes to get involved as a run defender, which is big versus as a nickel guy. So I'm going to take Mac McWilliams in this situation to allow us to double up on corner because we did wait a little bit on corner in this draft class. So wow, yeah, not a bad one. Like I love my seventh round, probably the best seventh round I've had with Broughton, Lampkin, and McWilliams. Like I could see all of those guys going much earlier. I don't know, except Lampkin, I could see being there because of the size thing. But I think McWilliams will go a little bit higher, and then Broughton will definitely go higher. I would be shocked if he's there, unless there's something I just don't know about. And then yeah, the rest of the guys, Buchanan, I see Bacon and Impact as a special teams player. Savion, I would think would be part of the rotation. Noel Williams could actually think with who you have on the roster potentially beat out if you don't add anyone. If you don't add a free and safety, I actually could see him beating out like guys like Storm Duck and Ethan Bonner, and be that third corner, and play on the outside. Slater, same thing. I could see him starting at guard. Latham, I could see starting at safety. Tyreek would for sure start at corner. Abuka would for sure, if you traded Tyreek, he'd be your second receiver. And if you didn't trade Tyreek, he'd be your third receiver. So he would be, he'd be out there playing he'd be a starter pretty much. He's going to play lots of snaps. And he does dirty work, man. He does a lot of dirty work. So this is a fun draft. I actually think it's a pretty good draft from instant impact and also future impact, because I think you hit a lot of positions there, and these guys that I think can all develop into decent players down the line. So you guys a little bit like that kind of stuff.